Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yegane and today I want to paint one of the most iconic figures in Greek mythology, the Minotaur. If you know this character, this figure has lots of parts, so I'm gonna paint it. Let's bring this powerful half man, half bull to the life. And while I'm painting, I'll tell you his story. Stick with me because his story is so wild. Let's go. Alright guys, so while I'm painting the Minotaur today, let's go a lot deeper into his story. You probably know he is half man, half bull, creature from Greek mythology. But trust me, the real story behind him is way bigger, way stranger, and honestly a bit sad. So sit with me, relax, and let's go all the way back to the ancient Crete. We're starting with King Minos, the ruler of Crete, living in a place of Knossos. Minos was powerful, respected, and honestly a little obsessed with proving that the gods were on his side. So one day he prays to Poseidon, the god of the sea, and asks for a sign that he, Minos, is the rightful king, a clear, divine sign. Poseidon listens, and he sends him this incredible snow-white bull rising straight out of the sea. It wasn't just any animal. It was majestic, strong, glowing, almost like it wasn't from this world. The message was clear. Yes, Minos, you have my blessing. Now sacrifice this bull back to me. But when Minos sees the bull, he falls in love with this beauty. He thinks, no way I'm killing this. I'll keep it, and I'll sacrifice another bull instead. Poseidon won't mind, but he did mind. And if there is one thing you don't do in Greek mythology, it's trick a god. Poseidon decided to punish Minos in a way he would never forget, and that punishment falls on Minos' wife, Pasiphae. Suddenly, she feels an uncontrollable, unnatural desire for a bull, something she definitely did not choose. Now, Pasiphae is desperate, confused, embarrassed, but she can't fight Poseidon's spell. So she goes to Daedalus, the greatest inventor of the ancient world, and asks him for help. Daedalus built a life-size wooden cow, completely hollow inside, covered with real cow skin, so it looks like live. Pasiphae hides inside it, and from this strange and curious union, a child is born. This child is Asterion, who later becomes known as a Minotaur. Now, here's the thing. The Minotaur wasn't born evil. He wasn't even born as a monster. He was a baby, but a baby with the head of a bull and the body of the human. Pasiphae loved him. He was still her son. But as he grew older, he grew stronger and hungrier. His appetite became wild and unnatural. Nobody could control him, not even Pasiphae. Minos was terrified, embarrassed, and angry, not at the child, but at the situation. But he couldn't kill him because in Greek culture, killing your own family was one of the worst things. So instead, he turns again to Daedalus. And Daedalus builds something unbelievable, the labyrinth, a massive maze with endless halls, dead ends, and twisting corridors. Place so confusing that even Daedalus himself barely escaped it after building it. This becomes the Minotaur's prison. Try to imagine this for a moment. Growing up alone inside the maze, surrounded by darkness, chewing footsteps, and stone walls. not knowing your place in the world, not knowing why you are different, and being feared by everyone. People later called him a monster, but honestly, he was more of a victim of the gods' anger. But the story doesn't stop here. Years before, Athens accidentally caused the death of Minos' son. So Minos declared war, won, and forced Athens to pay a terrible price. Every 9 years, they had to send 7 boys and 7 girls to Crete to be sacrificed to the Minotaur. Imagine being an Athenian parent during those times. The fear, the heartbreak, the unfairness. This situation continues for years until a young Athenian prince named Theseus stood up and said, "I'm going to end this. I'll go myself." Theseus joins the next group of sacrifices and sails to Crete. When he arrives, Minos' daughter Ariadne sees him and falls in love. Maybe with his courage, maybe with his face, maybe with the idea of ending all this suffering. But she knows something no one else does. The labyrinth is impossible to escape. So she gives him something incredibly simple, a ball of thread. She tells him, tie it at the entrance. As you walk deeper, let it unwind. Whatever happens, follow the thread back. Theseus enters the labyrinth, and imagine how terrifying that must have felt. Total darkness everywhere. The smell of stone and dust, and somewhere inside is the Minotaur. The fight between them is described differently depending on which version of the mythology you read. Some say the Minotaur attacked immediately with pure animal rage. Others say he hesitated. Maybe he recognized Theseus as a human. Maybe he didn't understand why people kept coming to him. But the battle was intense, loud, brutal, a clash of muscle, instinct, and survival. And in the end, Theseus killed the Minotaur. He follows the thread back, escaped the labyrinth, takes Ariadne with him, and sails away. The tribute ends. Athens is free, but the Minotaur story becomes legendary. And here's something a lot of people don't think about it. The Minotaur isn't remembered only as a monster. He's remembered as a symbol of how pride can destroy families, how the god punishes humans for their mistakes, how someone born from a curse ends up paying for something that never chose. That's why painting him is so interesting. You are not just painting a creature with horns and muscles. You're painting a whole tragedy, a whole piece of ancient Greek culture, a character who lived in a maze, feared the war, and didn't choose any part of this story. So as I'm painting his horn, his huge shoulders, his bald head, I like to imagine the deeper story behind him, the loneliness, the power, the mystery. He's strong, yes, but he's also misunderstood. And that's what makes the Minotaur one of the most unforgettable characters in all of Greek mythology. Okay guys, are you ready for final result? There we go. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope that you enjoyed this character and the story, of course. If you like this kind of characters and stories, please drop a comment for me, like this video, and subscribe our channel. I'll see you in next video. Bye.